Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I will show you how exactly to use your Mac and also how to get this beautiful wallpaper. I'll show you how I did that. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and like this video and comment down below. And yeah, let's get on with the video. Now that you can see my screen, you can see all the apps and all the widgets and everything. Today basically I'm going to show you how exactly to use your Mac. It's pretty easy and pretty simple, and yeah, make sure to like this video so I know that you're paying attention. First I'm going to go to settings to see the appearance of the app, so you just go there and then you go to appearances, and then there you can change it to clear, or you can change it to a different color, or you can change it back to default. Default is probably the one that everyone uses. Clear, it sort of varies which apps use which, and sometimes it's really dark and sometimes it's very saturated, but yeah. And then there you can change the sort of theme and color based off of it and see whether or not it's accurate to what you're actually doing. So then up on the top is the appearances. You can change it to dark mode, or you can change it to auto, or you can change it to light mode. But light mode is the one that people use the most. I think it's highly recommended to use it. And I do think so because it sort of makes the display a little more darker. And then down here at the bottom are the controls for the windows and basically everything surrounding it. So then you're going to click there and then go there, and basically shows you everything that is there. And then next you're going to show is, and then basically going to go to the screensavers. So these are all the screensavers. You can add an album to it, but I don't know why it's not working. But you can have albums of photos. And down here are all the basic ones. And there are also ones that you can have, I don't know, I just thought it wasn't working. So then down here you can actually change the colors. Just a singular color. This is what I'm going to pick, sort of like a pinkish, grayish. Then you have sort of a beige. Then you sort of have a golden one, a pink one, and a red one, perfect for Christmas. And you can pick a lot of ones, and you can also pick the color, which I'm going to show in video colors by clicking the plus button. I don't know what I'm doing. So basically all of these are my wallpapers. My Christmas one, I still have to make Christmas wallpaper, but yeah, there you can choose a color. It's showing all black, so then you can go to the colors at the bottom. Then you have sort of a neon color. You can add the hexadecimal, I think, in it too. You can have all sorts of colors based on what you like and what you see. And then here you can basically go anywhere you like. And then there's also the cool little shadow iMac, which I think are pretty cool. They come in various colors, but I think it would look really good on an iMac. And then here basically you can have all sorts of orange. And then there's a purple one that's more of, I think, this year's wallpaper. I think the iMac one was last year's, but this has a lot of shadow, and I do love the color purple. So this really enhances it, sort of. It makes it look nice. And then here we have the one where you can see the screensaver and stuff. There's all sorts of ones. You can do custom one, but I did the Amalfi Coast one. I think it's pretty cool because once the Mac is off, it sort of shows the screensaver of it. It's sort of like a live wallpaper. Yeah, and then you can change the when it goes off, the minutes by minutes. I don't think it was there before. Maybe it was. I'm not sure, but maybe it was there. So just pick that. I'm pretty sure you can change the colors, but I do think that the screensavers, they keep on adding new ones, and also you can change the text, the time of it on the top of the lock screen, and you can make it big, you can make it small, you can change the font size or the font look that you want. I sort of like a simpler one that isn't too complicated and easier to probably pay more attention to it, maybe slightly a bit. And there's all sorts of modes inside of it. And there's all sorts of tips and tricks that are hidden inside the Mac. I can't name all of them, but if you would comment down below what kind of Mac tips and tricks should I use and which ones are more helpful, because there's a ton of those. And then there you sort of add or miss it. And then I'm going to the control center, the home tab at the top, which basically you can add all sorts of stuff to it. And the time, the battery, everything that you need is on the top. It's called the menu bar, if you're wondering what it is. You can on and off things. The control center is where you access the control center and all the stuff. So here you just add controls here. You can add them on the top, I think there's a whole designated area just for the menu bar. But I did do it in my other video, so go check that out. So here you can add all the batteries and stuff, and there's all sorts of controls that you can add. It's unlimited amount of customization, and I think Apple did a really good job with doing this, even though I haven't said Apple this whole time. And then here you can basically see all the spotlight searches that you can do. That means you can search like each app just by what you want, what file. It's a good technique. Then we're gonna go to the finders here, and right here I'm gonna go to so basically all the stuff are stored on your computer, or it's the home thing that you see there. And then all the stuff, you can also change the color. You can do all sorts of things by clicking the right thing. I think there was a setting that I changed for the trackpad. And this is where my airdropping is. I will have to see it's easy. You just have to like drag a file. And I think this is pretty helpful. You just drag and drop it into iPad, your iPhone, your Mac, any device is actually from the Mac, but you can do all sorts of things inside of it. And then here the hardest way would probably be to just airdrop it, but I think this is the quickest way to do it. But I think it does go through the iCloud drive, but you want to be certain that it goes directly to your phone, because I had a real problem with that. So, But I do think that all of these stuff are needed to help you. And I would suggest that you would put all your stuff in a hard drive, because you never know when your iCloud storage could get full. Because I think you only get up to 2 terabytes of storage, but I don't actually know what I'm doing right now. So these are all the tags. Everything is actually put into category. The one that you change the color to will always be there, and I'll be there for you. You can put them in all sorts of categories based on the color or the icons that you put on top. It sort of categorizes it, which is a good idea. And then on the top here, you can put them into a list. You can put them sort of into a slideshow mode, and then list is probably the one that is more helpful. And then it tells you which ones are and what you add to it. And there's a slideshow mode, but the easiest one would probably be list, because it shows you the recently added or updated, or if you change the name, or how many stuff is inside the file, because it could really cause a huge damper on your stuff. And then here you can see the text, you can change the color, I think that way. What I was trying to do is trying to change the icons, but it didn't work out. So next I'm going to show you all the recents. Actually, I was going to go to iCloud Drive. All this stuff is stored on my iCloud Drive, which means it's in a separate server somewhere else in the world. I actually don't know much about the Mac, but I do know what that I'm showing here today. Then I'm gonna go to recents, and that's everything that I have. Then I'm gonna go to create a new folder under the iCloud Drive here. I'm gonna have a new folder. Just click File and then New Folder, and then it'll create it under. And then you're gonna name this Screen Recordings. And then you just have to double click on it, then you can rename it to whatever folder that you actually want. Then you're gonna go and open it, and then basically you can drag it. Everything they need will be there. Then you can access it anywhere in the world. But it will take a little bit of time for it to go through the whole thing, but then once it's done, you can go check it and see it. You can also create a smart folder, which I don't know what it is. Here is basically everything that you need to actually open files, close files, and you can also multitask with some of the features here. Then you can also go there to check what you can do on your Mac, so it gives you a guide of everything they need to know. You can search through it. It's basically a guide for everything, but I do wish they had a video format. That would have been much easier, but this is what we actually have down here. All sorts of things you can do. It's sort of limitless amount of things that you can do. I didn't know how much stuff there is, but I hope that it's actually helpful. And that's a lot of words to read, but it is pretty simple and easy. You just have to click help at the top and then just click the guide. Then here I can move it to my desktop right there. Then I can also change the color. I don't know, it didn't work. Still confused on how to change it. Then I'm gonna go to recents, then click it off. Then I'm gonna go to, you can drag it down here, and then on the top here you can click out of it, and you can sort it by date when it's created, but it's easier to do it with the list. So that is the list version, and there's all sorts of stuff that you can do. Filter what you want, and at the top there's an arrow they can click, which is created recently and which are not. Sort of like sorting by filtering which dates that you actually want. Up on the top you can pretty much see everything, and there's tons of features that you can do inside of it. You just have to click, I don't know where my arrow is going, but you click on the top, and then you pretty much can do anything from converting to a PDF to changing the colors, everything in one area. And you can also sort it by all sorts of things that you want to do with it. And it does come in really handy when you don't have to use the right click on the touch bar, but you can see what you want to do there, and then you can pretty much open another window by clicking it, and then here you can pretty much go back and forth, and you can also drag the thing, and then you can be pretty much, right now I'm going to go to the Notes app, and then pretty much you can have a new folder inside of it. So I'm just going to type there, just double click, type in the name. I'm basically just going to put art here, but you can't really drag any photos which I learned here you can't really do it. So you'd open a new note inside of it, and then you pretty much drag anything that you want. All the files. I think I'll do videos too, and you can keep on doing that. I'm pretty sure you can also save images that are also already in the document, which I think is pretty cool. I'm going into my files folder app, then I'm gonna use this, and then from there you can convert it into a PDF, which I think is nice. And then I'm gonna put it in Affinity, and then we'll see. I'll show you this new feature that I think that you will love. So what I did is I did convert it into a PDF. Now I'm gonna show you how I used it and import it into Affinity. So this is Infinity, here to Infinity. All you do have to do is go up on the top and then click File and then New. And then basically what it does is it allows you to create a new canvas size. So from there you go to back. I don't need this. So you can just click on the X, or you can click on the middle one, and then basically all I'm gonna do is drag the file folder thing into Affinity. And then from there I was trying to do an image trace, but then this picture was too big, so then I reduced it. I think later I might even trace it, I don't know, but we'll see. So then we have it here. Next you just have to click the touch bar to zoom in, and then here I'm trying to find where the image tracing tool is. It did take a bit of a time, but I did actually find it. But this image might not be the best one because it's not smooth enough, but I think it might even work. I don't know, I actually haven't tried other designs. I might decide to try that. It might be better that way. So then I went to, I was trying to figure out where exactly it is. I think it's on the top somewhere. And this is the applications where you can find all your apps, which is much easier than last time. So yeah, that's definitely an upgrade. I'm still trying to figure out my Mac, even though I've had it for like 10 years almost. So then here, I'm just gonna click it. Then I'm gonna find it again. I think this time I did actually find it. So it's actually under the vector, and then you just do image trace, and then it traces the image, but at the bottom there, you have to like fix the settings for it. And then basically after you're done, you just click yes. But I've actually forgot that part because I haven't used this in so long. But once I did, it sort of makes sense of it all. So then I sort of reduced both of them. And then I clicked apply, I think. Then, I don't know if I don't know to use this tool, but do you guys know to smooth it better? Because it's kind of like, when you zoom in, it sort of looks a little bumpy. It doesn't look smooth. I don't know why it creates like these like marks on it. I don't know if it doesn't trace the image because it's probably way too complicated to be able to. But you know, I just want to show you this new application that I've been using. I think it's a good alternative to what I usually use Inkscape, but Inkscape probably has more features than this. This is very limited, but it is good with vector, so I do recommend using it. But you should also know that you should also have familiarities with vector, then you'll understand it better. So then after that, I just saved it in iCloud. I should have actually saved it to my desktop, but everything basically sits in the iCloud. So then after that, I just saved it, I think. And then here, I think I'm gonna add the widgets. So you just have to press on it, then click edit widget, add widget or something, and then it pops up like that. These are your widgets here. You can add all sorts of ones. I don't know what apps to use for the widgets. Maybe Widgetsmith has it. I use Widgetsmith a lot on my iPad, so I think it sort of makes sense to be able to use it in Widgetsmith. But here you can basically move your widgets anywhere, it doesn't matter. So here I'm gonna go to the iCloud drive, I think. I don't know. So all your stuff are basically stored in this. I don't know how to move the folders around in one place, but I'm trying to figure all this out. It's not that complicated, but it does take a lot of time. I did watch a video about it, so I'm sure I know everything. So this is where all your applications and everything sits in your little computer there. And then here I have my Gemini thing, which I'm going to show you here. So basically what it did was it found the sweater that I was looking for. I just did it and it popped up. I'm not sure which one it picked, but there's tons and tons of ones. Like, it's great for if you want to narrow down some stuff. It'd probably even give you a budget based on that. And then I like this one, really cute. I wish you got that from birthday, but So then next I'm gonna see the product details. Since shopping season is already here, I thought I would show you everything. And it did generate this Christmas tree, which I think is pretty cute. I mean, it does a good job, but I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about here. And what I did was I tried to ask it a sort of wallpaper for my MacBook, and I'll show you what it does. It doesn't really do a good job of what I was asking for. It was very delayed. I had to keep on asking it, like, please give me in this size, but it was very finicky with what I was asking. It wasn't that direct. I don't know, but the images are pretty great, but I don't know. Is there an easier way that you can use Gemini? I don't know. But it's great for asking weather and stuff, but in this scenario, it wasn't quite at the point where I'm like, okay. But I will show you that ChatGPT did a better job, which I never thought I'd say this, but it did a good job. So here I sort of created an image of a futuristic city, but it didn't really go against what I actually wanted, so yeah. A bit. I don't know, it didn't do it, and then I went back and forth for like 2 or 3 minutes just talking to it. It didn't even do what I wanted, so then I had to make another choice, which is asking ChatGPT. You'll see it later in the video about how it did a great job. And then here you can change the models of it. This is also what you call as prompt engineering, which is finding the right way to ask questions. Sometimes if you aren't specific, it doesn't really go along the same lines. This is the thing about AI. Like, I wish it knew human intelligence and that we can actually think like it, but it doesn't actually do what it asks for, and I wish Google would fix this. Like, Gemini is good, but I don't know. I mean, I think the other version I did on a PC was so much better than what it did on the Mac. I think that's sort of a different way that it does the AI, but it is pretty good. It gives a good idea of what you're looking for, but the sides are probably the most difficult part of this all. It does give a clear idea of what you want, but I think I'll rather do this on my own than use AI. It's great, but I don't know. And later, I think I gave it to do something else. I'll show you what it does. It actually did I think I'm gonna scroll to the top. So I don't know what I'm doing right now, but I'm typing and seeing if it actually can give me what I actually wanted. Here, trying to generate the image, which does take a bit of a time, But I think until then, I did show you, I did show the image, so it did show an image of a futuristic city. I don't know, I like it, but I feel like it's not what I was looking for. I think it's too futuristic for my taste. But then I saved it in my iCloud, of course, because that's where I save everything now. It's so much easier than having to deal with these other Google Drive and other OneDrive stuff. But then I saved it because I thought it's good to use as a reference if I was gonna do a drawing or something. It has great, it probably can give you more imagination than even you can, but it can't replicate what you actually can do. I don't know, I just felt like it lacked in doing what it was actually told to do. I mean, you have to be really specific about what you're asking for because it can be quite finicky at times, but it does try to do its best. I do like its enthusiasm towards helping me, but it didn't quite go the way it wanted. But that is fine, there are other places to look for. I actually should have just Gemini on the web browser. I think it would have done a better job. I don't know about this extensions. Have you guys actually used this? Because I think it's a new, but it's still like it's there, but it's not quite there yet. So I would just keep on asking it what it's doing. But then I asked ChatGPT because it's taking way too long. So then when I asked ChatGPT specifically what I wanted, it did do it. And I do think that ChatGPT does a better job of doing art than Gemini does. Gemini is great, but it's not that great. For what you're doing, it's just such a pain in the butt to do it. Keep on asking what you actually want. You have to be really clear about what you want. But I think ChatGPT did a better job. But I told it actually asked stuff from the internet. It actually Googled it and stuff. So then I asked it to generate an image. And I don't know, this might be the best Christmas background that I ever seen before. You guys will see it in a few seconds, but it did a great job. But Gemini, I asked for a pattern. It did give a pattern, but I feel like it was too crowded enough to be a pattern. I like a pattern that's like very spread out. There's at least some distance between them. But for this, it didn't quite fit what I was actually looking for in this way. So I hope this is helping you guys a lot because I'm learning a lot that I didn't know about. I thought Gemini was really great, but ChatGPT seemed to be on the top of it all right now. I think ChatGPT is winning. Even if it takes a lot of time, it does do a good job of what I asked it to do because it knows me very well because I've used it so many times. It does have a lot more experience with art. I mean, I can do it too. I'll try. I actually want to see if I can replicate what AI can do. I want to try to try to do it. And I can't believe next week is Thanksgiving. And I'm actually going to post this on Thursday, so you're going to see it on Thursday. So yeah, I hope this taught you a lot about using the Mac. I mean, how to use it. It's pretty simple and easy. It's just like using any computer, you know. Apple is just different in many ways because they have hidden features that even I didn't know. There's so many other features that I'll find out for you guys so you guys can learn more. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. But it should have asked it to do horizontal, but I do think that it did a great job of what I was asking for. And it does a better job of doing what is told rather than Gemini. Gemini needs to step up the game. I don't know if it's because it's sort of like an extension that it doesn't necessarily have the capability of building a picture like this, but it did a good job. And I'm really impressed by it. Did look good in the background. I will say that it did a better job than I thought it would. So then I set it as the wallpaper, and then I'm gonna close everything, and yeah, that is basically how I do it. It's pretty easy and pretty simple, and there's a lot more that I want to show you guys. So here it created a Christmas image tree. Then here it's pretty good at telling you the weather. I think that's what it's good for. Telling you the weather, probably making a list of things you need to do. It does basic tasks, but it's not ready for an image. I'm just telling you that it's not that great. So be open to thinking that AI can take away our jobs, but it's only there to help us be more productive in our life and make our lives much easier, and don't stress about anything. So yeah, I had so much fun just making this video, guys. It was so much fun just learning how to use this Mac. There's still tons of stuff that I haven't figured out how to use, but I'm sure I'll do more videos about this soon. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to... So this is basically my MacBook. We customized it for the holiday season, and we also showed how to use the Mac. If I missed anything, please make sure to comment down below it. And yeah, make sure to leave a Santa emoji down below, or a snow emoji, to see if you actually watched it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun making it. I really think that I did a good job on how to use a Mac. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. There are little tricks and tips on how to make your Mac customizable, but we sort of customize it for the Christmas season. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.